when we're doing business, mostly people only think that, hey, I'm selling things. That's not from what I learned. It's not the correct word for entrepreneurship, right?
Hi, welcome back to Asian Fempreneur. Today we have a very special guest. So she's a mompreneur, a serial mompreneur. She will share with us her story from how the early ventures that she has created until the current one. Without further ado, let's greet Holly. Welcome back, and today we'll be joined by Holly, which is a mompreneur from Indonesia.
Hi, nice to meet you all. Hi, Ran.
Hello. Yeah, would you mind to share a bit of your background, Holly, and who you are and what you do at the moment?
Mm, okay. So thank you very much, Rani, for having me today. I'm so glad that finally I can share together with you in this platform. Maybe a little bit about me. As Rani mentioned before, I'm a mompreneur, which is I'm a mom of two beautiful girl and a boy. And also maybe I can call myself a serial entrepreneur because I've been, dealing with a lot of business since I was probably 13 in my junior high school. Getting back to my history, as I mentioned before, I was having my small business when I was approximately around 13. Why? Because at that time, my parents was bankrupt. So they have their own business, they have their company, and then because they were bankrupt, so I have no more choice. I have to move on, but I have to, self-fund myself in order to continue my study. So at that time, I saw, a little opportunity in my school. So I was the secretary in the class. So every time I have to write down all the notes from my teacher in the class. And at that time, there were so many students being lazy to write down their own notes. So they asked me, hey, can you write down as well for me because you have a good handwriting? So I charged them 5,000 Indonesian rupiahs, for writing down all the notes. And so because they were happy, I'm happy, so I continue that service.
That's
And then
very
because I
smart. That's very smart, I think. Transcription.
because I keep writing, I keep memorizing things, right? So that's
Yeah.
why as having the money, I also become more clever, and then I also can continue my study. And besides having that writing business, I call it the business because I have the money included inside. Um, I'm a little bit good in drawing as well. So my friend always asks me, "Can you draw it for me? I'll pay you as well." So I said, "Of course, I can."
Uh-huh.
So I have that kind of service, for drawing for my friends. Every time we have the drawing subject, right?
Okay,
In
okay,
Indonesia we
yeah.
have the art part, and we have to draw every time in the A3 paper. So every time my friend found difficulties for drawing, they always come to me and then ask me to, draw for them. That's how I start my business, my
Oh,
small
oh.
business since I was in my junior high school.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah, that's how I started. And then
mm-hmm.
when I continuing to my senior high school,
Mm.
um, I cannot continue that kind of service any longer because I moved to another different school. So
Mm.
um, I'm starting another new venture,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
which is making handmade things, for girls. So I make hair bands and everything for usually for girls. Whenever I make something, I always use it, and then my friends will see it, and then they said, "Hey, where did you buy it? I made it. Can I have it too?" Of course, I start making lists. That's how I, having my own, pocket money by making small items for my friends. So that's how I started.
Okay.
Then
That's
I
I
can
think
continue my study.
I think that's really amazing. And this was so here in the UK, at least we have this thing called Etsy, where you can,
Mhm.
it's like a online platform where artists can just, sell their products or crafts. And this, what you did was before Etsy was there.
Yeah. It's an offline Etsy then.
Yes, offline Etsy, local Etsy.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So I made not only the hairband and including bracelet. I made as well bag. So I still the bag because
How did you make the bag? Sorry, what's the materials and stuff?
we use flannel.
Okay,
The
okay, okay.
flannel. Yeah.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And also I'm using if you know the floor, they have the white thing, they're using the white package. And
Mhm.
then whenever they would like to throw it away, at
Ah.
that time, during my time, everybody used that, material for making bags. So I'm making that bags as well and sell
Mhm.
it to my friends. And
Okay.
it's quite viral. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm enjoying,
Mhm, mhm.
having that kind of making handmade thing for my friends because it's like, pleasing to me and also pleasing to them as well.
Okay, so win-win solution for both of you.
Yes, exactly.
If I may ask though, like the pocket money that you made from this ventures, is
Mhm.
it like I'm not, it's not how much, but like does it, what do you usually use it for?
Well, usually use it for my transportation fee and then also for buying lunch every day.
Mm,
Because at that time, my parents also only can pay for my school fee, so
mhm,
for the tuition, and
mhm,
then the rest I have to think by myself.
mhm. So it's basically like living expenses.
Yes, for my daily things.
Okay.
Every time I want to buy something, I will start making new things. Okay, I'm starting making bracelet, and then opening purchase order. Who wants to
Mm.
buy it? What color do you like? Something like that.
Mm. Does anyone ever teach you about the process, or how do you learn this?
I think it's like happened by coincidence. I don't know because at that time there's no lesson about how to sell things. There's no such a online course or something like that, right? But
Mhm.
it happened like accidentally by accident. I can say it's like accidentally, but maybe I can say it's also because in Indonesian we call it the power of kepepet.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
How
it's
to say
yeah.
it in English?
Um, like last minute power.
Maybe because I have no more option. So that's what happened.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Please carry on.
Yeah, so basically that's how I started. So this kind of habit of because I can feel that hey I can make my own money. So I can feel that there's a joy, there's a happiness in it. Because whenever my friend tell me hey I can buy this, I can buy that, but that's your parents' money. I can buy things, but it's using my own money. I feel a little bit proud of
Mm.
myself. So I said
Mhm.
to myself, if I can continue doing something like this, I won't become a burden for my family any longer. So
Mm.
I start to think about continuing this kind of business. That's why my parents keep asking me to work in a company, but I said, Mom, I really want to work in a company, but after I graduated from my university,
Mhm.
but I said I do have another passion in my life. So I don't want to stuck doing somebody else's dream. I want to live my own dream. So that's why I keep, we call it pivoting, right?
Mhm.
Pivoting from one business to another, to fulfill my own passion and then to fulfill my own goal towards life. Because I
Mhm.
believe everybody got their own journey, right? So I
Yeah.
said I want to try, even though it's quite difficult, it's quite hard at the first. But I believe if I keep walking, if I keep moving, I believe I will reach there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, that's absolutely true. So
Yeah.
so that means after you graduate from uni first in Japan, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Do
Yeah.
you yeah. So you went back to Indonesia, and what business did you start then? Did you immediately start a business?
Yeah. Well, at that time, when I was in Japan, I also did some business with a Japanese. We imported uh, maybe you know Javanon. It's a noni juice.
Mm-hmm.
We exported to Japan because at that time we were in Japan, and maybe I can call we imported to Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I would like to continue that business, but since I have to going back to Indonesia, it's quite difficult because somebody has to be there in Japan to handle all the from the port and everything, and it's quite difficult. So at that time, I start to think that maybe I cannot continue that business, so I'm going to change to another business.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm starting to make my own maternity jeans. And then when
Mm-hmm.
I'm using that maternity jeans, people keep asking me, "Hey, you are pregnant, but how come you're still wearing jeans?" Because at that time my jeans quite different with the maternity outfit in Indonesia. So there are so many people ask me, can I buy the same jeans like yours? I said, Yeah, okay." So at that time, I said, "Hey, maybe there's a opportunity here to make the maternity jeans in Indonesia because for a pregnant mom finding outfit for them is quite difficult, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then if they feel, yeah, I'm so ugly using this outfit, it will
Mm.
affect their emotion, and then it will affect the condition of the baby as well. So I said, maybe if I can help them as well, finding a perfect outfit for them, wearing jeans,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it will help them giving, a happiness as well. So
Mm.
at that time, I'm starting that the new venture, making the
Mm-hmm.
jeans for maternity mom.
Okay. So how long did you do that for?
I did that for, I think it's approximately 3 years. And then after that, I'm starting to a new one, which is becoming a developer. We started to build houses for the medium and lower, income person. Because at that time, I also fully aware that there's a backlog for housing in Indonesia, which is approximately 15 million people in Indonesia didn't have any house. So I saw there are so many problems because at that time I also would like to have my own house, but it's really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I understand why people cannot have their own house here in Indonesia. The problem is too much. I said like that. So with my husband, we are starting to build small houses, and then start to build and then sell, and then we find another piece of land and then start to build again, and then we start to sell it. That's how we switch from maternity jeans to building houses.
Yeah, that's a very quite a drastic change, isn't it?
Yes, because at that time we also found there are so many difficulties for the maternity jeans
Mm-hmm.
because after we sell, at that time, after 2 years, the sales was like scaling up drastically.
Mm.
But soon after that, um, there are so many competitors for the product. And then the competitors' product were so much cheaper than mine.
Mm.
And the weird thing is it's coming from, another country. So we cannot beat the price. And I said, I don't want to fight in the red ocean. I want to find a blue ocean for myself. Because if we are fighting in the red ocean, we are bleeding and we never know who's going to win, right?
Mm.
Those
That's why it's red.
who will win, yes, those who will win is those are those who got a lot of you know money, right?
Mm-hmm.
To spend for the either for giving promotion or giving advertisement and everything. So I said maybe I have to switch to another one, which is the housing, because I saw there's another problem in housing as well. That's
Mm-hmm.
how I'm changing, pivoting to another new one.
Okay. And I think now you're also have some like another new venture as well. Not exactly new, but a bit of uh like a sub branch of your developer business. Am I correct?
Yes. Yeah, because when during my pregnancy, I also got so many invitation from either from schools or from like organizations to speak on behalf of my other researcher. At that time, because she was Japanese, so she cannot always come to Indonesia. So she asked me to to speak on behalf of her. So at that time, I was like going here and there, speaking about parenting and then about children. And I also got a lot of information from moms. So I've been dealing with moms since 2006. I saw that the main problem in the family here is not only about um, kids or the relationships. But there is another thing that we cannot see clearly, which is the financial problem.
Mm-hmm.
So there are so many abuse in the family towards either the children or the mom. It's because of the financial problem.
Mm-hmm.
So during my the COVID time, I was thinking, wow. I believe there are so many moms out there right now because of COVID suffered a lot because, their husband cannot go anywhere, cannot work. I believe the salary will be decreased as well. Well, the mom still have to fulfill all the needs for the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
How to do that. So I said I really would like to help those moms. So I'm thinking maybe I can bring my other expertise because I'm doing when I was in Japan, I also did a lot of part-time job in the restaurant before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to combine all of this expertise plus all the informations from mom,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to help mom so that they can earn their own money from the comfort of their house. Maybe I cannot say the comfort of their house because I believe when they're when they have to earn money, it means it's not comfortable, right? But
Mm.
yeah, what I'm trying to say is mom still have another opportunity even though they have kids already.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean,
Wow.
um, so many variety, and then also now that I'm impressed because how you managed to find an opportunity from something that you are currently doing, which may not have anything to do with what you are doing next. Like how you discover this problem, and then how you jump into this venture just based on the time where you're doing traveling and speaking, right? Like speaking engagements.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I also remember you wrote some books, don't you, about blood type and parenting?
hmm Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically,
Mhm.
that's also because of my experience. You know, I think doing parenting for most of moms is like, you know, like hell. I can say it's like hell. I cannot understand my kids. Why they're not listening to me? That's what they said all the time, right? But actually it's not that difficult if you know the secret, right?
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
like cooking. If you don't know how to cook, of course cooking will be like, wow, it's so difficult. But once you know, for example, a chef, you can give her any kind of ingredients. She'll make a very delicious food for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm trying to share with all other moms, through my books, because um, I kept receiving, so many questions. Oh, how to deal with my kids? I got so many problems with them. So I kept, telling them, giving advice over and over again. So I said, maybe I have to write it down in a book so that they can
Mm-hmm.
read by themselves.
Yeah.
So that's how, the books published. Just like, uh, maybe I don't have that kind of intention, but since I don't want to keep, repeating the same thing over and over again, so maybe I have to write it down in a book.
Mm.
Something like that. Yeah.
So still on that though, now I mean you choose to write a book. That's really great because most of us dream of I want to publish a book in my lifetime, but well, there are people who manage to do that, and you manage to do that. Hey guys, if you're watching this video and if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe and like because this will be very helpful for the channel to grow. Thank you. So I guess if you have a choice, suppose that you want to share your knowledge now, would you still rather to write a book or would you prefer other format?
For nowadays,
Yes.
I prefer to speak instead of writing.
Okay.
Yeah, because I found that when I speak, I can convey the message better instead of through my handwriting, my writing. Because the Indonesians tend to read less, right? They don't like to read. So even though we have the books, they keep asking, just say it. I just want to listen. I don't want to read. They said like that. So for nowadays, if you give me the options, maybe I choose to speak through this kind of platform instead of
Mm,
using the maybe ebook is okay, but somehow it's kind of useless if you give it to them and then they're not reading it, right? So it's
mm.
better just listen to my voice, and then maybe you can understand better.
Right, right. Yeah.
Yeah, either through audio or through using this kind of platform, it will be better, I believe,
I
for
guess,
the
yeah.
Indonesian case. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's easier, right? Like you just have to click open it and then your voice or your video will just be there and play. No need for
Yeah.
extra effort to open the book and read. No, don't get me wrong. I love reading. I do love reading if I'm not I try to read something before going to sleep. But yeah, I
Mm.
mean I tried to finish a book, but it's not like a mandatory, oh, I have to finish this amount number of books by this month or by this year. Just let it flow, I suppose.
Yeah, I love reading as well because for me, reading is like another opportunity to see another different world. Well, so it's like opening another new window, opening new opportunity, and then by reading, I'm like getting into the other in this case the writer's way of thinking as well, because there is, even though maybe we are speaking about the same thing, there's still some difference, if you read a book and then when we are listening to someone. So I still prefer to read. For me, for myself, I'm preferring to read a book as well. So that's why there are so many books at home. So it's like a small library in my room.
Mm. Do you have like a favorite or like I recommend this book on, let's say, for it could be personal development or for business or anything that you come up to your mind?
Maybe Atomic Habit is a recommended one, because people maybe tend to think that it's a small thing. You don't have to think about that small things.
Mm.
But according to the book, if you keep doing the small things matter. It will change your life. Never underestimate a small thing, small habit in your life. So maybe for personal development, that is a very recommended book.
Okay. Thank you for
Mhm.
the recommendation. I shall check that out
Yeah.
myself as well. Okay, going back to the whole the ventures that you have done throughout your life, basically,
Mhm.
you've seen from the very earliest small business type of business, as well as till now you started MomWork as a startup.
Mhm.
How do you see the way of doing business, or the way of, yeah, basically like from idea formulation into the execution itself? How do you see it changing throughout the years?
Well, for basically, when you're doing the old-fashioned business, it's like, hey, I got product. Do you want it? So I will receive money. As simple as that, right?
Mm-hmm.
For nowadays, it's quite different. So um, I think we cannot sell, like hard selling like that. We
Mm-hmm.
have to start, through the soft selling. We have to start to give first instead of, I have this product. Do you want to buy it? We cannot tell it that way nowadays. We
Mm-hmm.
have to give them something, like an offer, a free offering, which is we call like the lead magnet first. So people will start to trust in us because when you start a small business, basically the buyer will be those around you only, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when you start this kind of startup, we cannot expect the surrounding will start to buy from us because they are not the right market for us. Our market is a little bit way out there. So when we don't know the market, which is a cold market, we have to see the market differently. So um, we are starting this mom work by giving a free stuff as well, such as a free ebooks, free what else? Like lessons like this talk, through the Zoom platform.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to gain that trust, so for me, maybe doing business is basically the same, but we have to change the way a little bit. Because if we are not doing the right way to do business, according to the we call it zaman now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, we are not going to be successful. Why? Because um, our target market change, the situation change, even the way people perceive things are different. So we have to see it as an opportunity. Hey, this is a new market. This is new season. How to win this market and new competition. So nowadays we also knew that doing competition also not a good thing. Instead of competing, I think it's much better if you do collaboration. That's why um, I'm doing a lot of collaboration with another, startups. So basically, instead of, hey, that is, my target market, stay away from that. No, I'm trying to, holding hands together. We have the same target market. How about if you're doing this? We start to dig deeper. We start to have conversations together. How to win this market together. That's how I would like to do the business for nowadays.
Okay. What would you say is the okay? You are an entrepreneur. You are a serial entrepreneur as well. Would you say that being an entrepreneur means like it's the same as creating businesses, creating ventures, or does it mean something else?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. Yeah, basically, a serial entrepreneur is maybe I can say it's almost the same, but one thing that can make it different is that the way we handle the business. Because when we are doing the entrepreneurship, it's not only doing business, but we have to create something new. Either it's like modifying things, but we have to create something new instead of only selling things. When we're doing business, mostly people only think that, hey, I'm selling things. That's not from what I learned, it's not the correct word for entrepreneurship, right? for entrepreneurship, you have to start making something new. Either it's modifying something or really make something new. But for making something new, totally new, is quite impossible, right? Because usually we see things either it's in the past, either it's like from the present. We start to change it and add some value to it, and then we wrap it in a brand, and then we sell it as a new thing, right? So I believe it's only additional thing from the business, from the old-fashioned business. We create something, so we can call it entrepreneurship.
Okay, so I'm hearing that basically creating new is the essence of entrepreneurship from what you said. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. How would you, okay, you have 2 children. So are you trying to make them as an entrepreneur as well, like future entrepreneur? First of all.
Every time we have this kind of what do you call it? Because of thanks to COVID, we always have an afternoon walk every day at 5 o'clock until approximately like 6:30. During that afternoon walk, I always talk about business. I explain to them what is business, how to do business, and then about so many things that maybe it's not that kind of suitable for their age, because I keep talking about cryptocurrency as well. What is cryptocurrency? What is a startup? I really would like to share a little bit to them, but at the end, I will, leave it to them whether they would like to continue my way or whether they have their own way. Because my first daughter, I only have one daughter, but the first one, um, she really likes to sing, so she really would like to pursue in the singing path. But I said, I'm not that familiar with that singing thing. So I said, how about if you make a startup for singer, and then for musicians and for songwriters. So instead of having you only, you also have other people. So you are not helping yourself, but you also have other singers as well, around you. That will be better instead of, fighting only for yourself, But when you're having a startup, you're helping another person as well to become successful. I said like that. So she was like, yes, maybe that's a good idea. She said like that. So basically, I'm trying to, persuade, in a soft way. um, whether she's going to take my advice or not, I'm going to leave it to her. But I'm giving a little bit, business sense to her so that she's going to think because she's really, right, because she's left-handed. Her right brain is the one which is moving so much, right? She's very, in an art thing, always like to draw things. It's not, drawing like, manga or something, but it's like she likes all the arts things, like making shoes, making, small items, and that kind of things is, that always pop up, Hey mom, I make this. Hey mom, I make that. Besides singing and dancing, so I said, I have to make her balance, her brain a little bit balanced. So I try to, trigger the left hemisphere of the brain by giving her, some business sense, how to calculate, if you're trying to sell these things, how did you calculate all the materials and service and everything, how much you're going to sell it. So I try to give her that kind of sense of business to her, so that at least if she cannot make it into the singing world, I think she has another, foundation for the business as well. Something like that. And then for my son, he likes a lot for sport world, always doing sport. And then always talk about sport, especially soccer, which is I don't understand. So I said, both of them has no business sense. So I said, one is singing, one is doing soccer. He always tell me that he wants to continue as a soccer player. He kept telling about this, the shoes, about the, how to do, bicycle kick. I said, I don't understand.
Oh,
So, yeah. So I
that sounds
said,
like a potential business there already. Like, well,
sorry.
I mean, like there are various ways of doing it, of course, but I mean, it's nice to have like an interest, like a wide interest, especially in areas that traditionally like seems like there's only one path to it. Let's say if he likes to bike, right? Bicycle, repair bicycle, am I hearing that?
Playing bicycle.
Playing bicycle.
Playing bicycle, yes, and then doing soccer.
Yeah. I mean, from the playing bicycle only, like if he wants, he could, like export or import the parts of bicycle, or like
Yeah.
sports. Yeah, similar. I mean, there are lots of ventures that can be explored, but the possibilities are vast, a lot.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to, dig deeper with him because he's still 8, so it's quite difficult to, you know, talk deeper about um venture or about business or something because right now he's, into the playing soccer only. So every day he kept playing, soccer at, in the house, breaking things with the ball.
And you're fine with it. Everything is okay to play. I hope.
Sometimes we ask, you can play soccer, but not in the house, please. Play outside in the hall or maybe in the garden, not inside. I said like that because it's quite scary, because whenever he try to kick the ball, something will fall.
Mm.
Definitely, something will
Mhm.
fall. So yeah, maybe if I can dig deeper again, um, I will try to give him a little bit foundation about business, but again, I leave it again to him whether
Mm.
he would like to pursue in the business side or still in the sports side.
Mm. In terms of the parenting itself, I mean, it sounds like you've done a very like you're doing a very good job on trying to expose your children to not just business percent, but also like how to channel their interest into something that's more meaningful and productive for others as well. How going back to the parenting itself, how do you see parenting in your time, in our time, is different from your children's time, which is now?
Yeah. Um, Parenting during my time is something that is maybe I can call it's like an old-fashioned, type, right? Every children has to go to school and then going to university, find some work and getting married and then having another children and then that's it. I mean, like that path should be called normal, right? If you're not, going through that path, your parents will say you are not normal. Please go back to the normal way, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Even when I was small, I also would like to pursue my, music. I love music so much. I'm, a keyboard player. I can play drum and guitar as well. So I said to my mom, I really want to pursue in the musical journey. My mom said, no. How are you going to, earn money?
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea how to do that. I mean, like, that's only like a hobby, and I love it so much, and I'm good at it. But I don't know how to earn money through that, musical thing. And then I also good at sport. I'm good at doing badminton. And my dad said, "Hey, do you want to go to the club?" And my mom said, "No, she has to study.
Mm.
Don't ask her to go to the club or doing things like sport thing, because doing sport in Indonesia will not giving you a good life, because you know as you can see that sport in Indonesia is not that good, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So that was the old fashioned parenting, right?
mm-hmm,
So because I I really understand how does I feel about I really want to pursue this way, but my mom said no. My parents said no. Please study well.
mm-hmm.
So right now I'm trying to give a little bit freedom for my kids to choose which one do you want, which path do you want, because I don't want you to regret in life, right?
Mm,
You live only once, and I want them to live the fullest. So I really want to support them. Whatever you want to choose, and I will become your first supporter. I said like that
mm-hmm,
to them. That's why
mm-hmm.
um, when my my daughter loves to sing, I always bring her to so many competitions so she can, have an
Ah.
experience, and she can know whether she's good or not. So by doing that, she got a lot of exposure as well. She got a lot of trophy as well. So she basically knew, hey, I know my talent is in singing instead of in. She likes art as well, but not in art, because every time she's participating in the drawing or coloring competition, she sometimes win, but not all the time. But
Mm-hmm,
whenever she participates in the singing one, always win. So by
mm-hmm,
doing that, she basically knew it by um, when she's participating in the activities like that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's her who wants to participate in the singing competitions.
Yeah, I'm the one who's funding the information, and then I'm the one who uh, register for her, and
Uh-huh.
then, hey, Claire, there is a singing competition. Do you want to participate? If she said yes, then I'll register for her.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
That's I think that's a very supportive for you as a mom, like trying to foster or trying to nurture your child's basic, I wouldn't say talent because it's a bit, I would say interest might be a better word.
Interest.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's
Interest, yeah.
yeah, that's really
Because
nice.
at first we never know, right? What is her
Mm,
talent? We never know.
yeah.
So I took her to any kind, like a cooking competition, cake decorating competition, any kind of art competition. So by doing that, she basically have the experience, and then after that, she can decide herself which one is your talent.
That sounds like in college, like back when we were in college, remember, like we are exposed to many options of subjects. We can choose whichever we want and then pursue the ones that we are interested, major on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third year, right?
Yes. um yeah, going back to your own ventures, you have co-founders, right, in some or most of your ventures.
Mhm.
um how do you have other women working with you, or are you the only women there?
Oh, okay. For MomWork, yes, at first we have another woman working for me. But since the condition is getting tougher and tougher, it's kind of difficult for her to continue her journey with me. She really would like to have it, but at that time she's having another master degree, so she's still studying. And then she also got husband. She also got children to take care of, and she also has her own business, small business. So she said, I cannot handle all at the same time right now. So because she also study for the master degree, she said, I have to do a lot of things. I'm afraid I cannot do well together with you as a co-founder. So she said, maybe I have to stop my journey here. So right now I'm the only woman in MomWork. but soon I'm going to find another one because as you know, in I signed the signatory for UN Women. I have to add more women in the in the team in order to fulfill uh, there is a gender balance
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
in the team. So yeah, maybe I really enjoy the you know the balance
mm-hmm.
because because sometimes women are using their feelings too much, but the male part is giving, hey, we have to use our rational thing. Okay, so we have the balance thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. As someone who's already used to hustling since you were young, what would you say the number one tip to manage your time?
Oh, to manage the time, it's quite difficult because I have to juggle almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to do the time management, first I have to understand the role. My role right now is as a mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, as a mom, I have to put the priority first for my children. So right now, even though we are working from home, I still put the timetable from morning until 12 is the time for the online learning for my kids, and then
Mm-hmm.
after that I will start working. So um I don't want to become successful in the business while neglecting my children, because I said it's useless. Even though I have a lot of money, I have I become famous or become successful, if I cannot manage my own children, it will be useless. It
Mm-hmm.
means nothing, because you know my children successful is also my successful. So I have to give priority first for them, because I believe that God you know put them in my life,
Mm-hmm.
so I have to become responsible for them as well. So
Mm-hmm.
after giving priority for them, then I continue with working. So whenever I work, I said like this to my children: hey, remember, this is time for me to work. Your time is from morning until 12, right? So if you really want to either showing TikTok, sometimes they want to show TikTok, then ask so many things. Maybe after this, okay, from 5, I said like that, from 5, we have a morning walk, then you can ask or share the any kind of story you want to share. So that's how I manage the time. Then after that, after having my dinner, go back again. It's working time again. So my working time is a little bit like, if you see the clock, it's like a butterfly from 12 until 5, and then again from 8 until 12 again. So it's like a butterfly.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. I have three last questions. If you are okay with the time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. First of all, is your husband very supportive of you doing all of this?
Yes. Because since we are together, or maybe since my daughter came into this world,
Mm-hmm.
we share everything. Even though he's tired after going back from work, um, we there is a shift. Hey, this is your shift. It's your time. To take care of the baby. So he knows that we have to share everything, including the household chores. He also swiping the floor. Sometimes he's the one who you know wash all the dishes and everything. So every time I'm busy, he also do the household chores. And then because we are doing it also together, so basically he knows how busy we are together. So he's not demanding that much. If he saw that the house is, hey, how come the house is so messy like this, he's going to clean it up as well. So
Mm-hmm.
for supportiveness, he is very, very supportive, and I'm so thankful that maybe he's not like like other guy, which other mom always complain, hey, my husband never helped me at house. He every time he's going back from work, only lying down, something like that. We know that kind of image, right? The image
Mm-hmm.
of husband at home in Indonesia. He's not like that. So I'm so thankful that he is helping me as well. If I said I want to have my me time, so he's going to take care, the kids. Okay, I'm going to bring the kids to the mall, have a good time with your me time, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like that. Every time I have to, maybe I have to go somewhere to another city, giving presentation or something. So
Mm.
he's going to take care of the kids. With I don't have to worry that much because he knows that I know that he can handle the kids, safely.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
that maybe for other womenpreneurs or mompreneur as well,
Mm.
this kind of gender gender how to say it, it's gender bias
Gender. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
should be um, it should be maybe I cannot say cannot be erased, right? But we have to minimize a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
so we can have a balance between male and the female. So it's not like all the burden is on the female side. Because if all the burden on the female side, it's going to be very heavy on us, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
fair, right?
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. What would you say? What would your tips for someone maybe who wants to start their own business, whether it's a mom or whether they are still young? What would you say to them?
Well,
Or maybe, sorry,
if
maybe in the middle as well, someone who just graduated and then like, I don't know what to do. Or maybe can I start a business, but I don't know how to. What would you say to all of them?
mm, well, what can I say? Maybe if you really want to, if you really believe that you have a good, either it's business idea or something, just do it. Even though people call you crazy, it's okay because sometimes people give you some advice, but they don't see the real thing inside your head, right? The one who can see is only you. Until you make it into realization, it's only you who can see everything. So if you really have either it's business idea or business concept, everything, just do it. Just take the first step, and then after taking the first step, you will finally know. Because people would like to compare themselves with a successful entrepreneur, which is for me, you cannot do that because when you compare yourself with them, you have to compare, yourself with, the old them. For example,
Mm,
when they were 17, how were they? Do not
mm,
compare yourself with the present them. It's it's something that cannot, it's not like an apple to apple, right?
mm,
So
mhm.
it's okay. It's okay if people around you call you crazy, because there are so many people also call me crazy. Hey, ho, why you have to start another business? Why don't you just stick to the previous one? Because doing another one is quite taking time and everything. Plus, you will never know whether it's going to make profit or not. So I said, yeah, it's okay. I know what I'm doing. So even though it's maybe for you it's not successful, but for me, I'm reaching toward my goals. So I said like that
Mhm.
because God has a plan for all of us. So do not walk in other people's path. Walk in your own path, and then make sure that you reach the goal. Even though you have to walk that slow, it's okay because that's for me. Competition is not with other people, but competition is with the yesterday me. So you even though people said, "Hey, you walk too slow," it's okay. I'm making progress today. So just take courage and never give up. I believe even though other people around you didn't give you support, if you support yourself, you will reach the goal.
Okay. Okay? Last question. What sort of skill that someone, regardless of their where they are in their life, young or old or whatnot, what would be the most important skill to have in this time and age?
The soft skill, the persistence, because without persistence, it's quite difficult. if you easily give up, and maybe after, after 1 year, no result, 2 years, no result, you give up. There's no persistence, right?
Mhm.
So I think the most important thing is persistence. And then maybe how to do things. Because, you have to find another different way to do things. Instead of doing it the old fashioned way, you have to find another new way of doing something. So, I really believe that when you have this kind of soft skills, um, I think you're good enough. Don't worry too much about what people say. I think when you have persistence and never give up things, I believe you will reach that. You will reach the destiny and make the history.
Well, thank you very much, Holly, for sharing all of this with us. And I'm so glad that we had this conversation that we know each other before, but I haven't heard of this part of your story. And it's very inspiring as well to hear. So thank you very much
Thank you
for
so
sharing
much for
that.
having me too.
All right. Well, until we meet again in our next episode. Until then, goodbye.
Bye.